Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Karabasitole, and in today's video I'm going to be doing my very first video based on accounting content. So I'll be applying the concept that you guys have learned, and we are doing test 2 September 2022. Question 1 says, okay, I haven't printed the paper, so please bear with my reading. Question 1 says, please note the following: ignore VATs and any tax consequences. Show all workings clearly, round all amounts to the nearest rand where applicable. Deja Brew is a very popular coffee shop in Braamfontein. It was established by Joseph Ndlovu as a sole proprietorship on the 1st of July 2018 with the 30 June financial year. So that's very important information. From this, I find the line of business being that they sell coffee. I find the owner, and I find that it's a sole proprietorship. I find that it's a new business, right? Oh, not exactly, but it's not as old as businesses formed in the 2000, right? And I also find the year end, which is 30 June, right? So espresso machines. Joseph purchased 2 commercial espresso machines on the 1st of July 2018 at a cost of 76,500. So in accounting, as you guys should know, your timelines are very important. So whenever I have a question where you bought something and you bought it before the period you are in, I normally start my timeline where you bought it, right? So that I can count the number of years that have passed since you bought it. So in this question, you bought it on the 1st of July 2018. So you draw a timeline. The first thing is 1st of July 2018. You bought 2 machines at a cost of 76,500. So what you are doing right now is breaking down the information into small pieces that can help you answer the question, right? So you bought 2 machines at 76,500 each. So they are estimated, they have estimated, okay, let me continue reading. It says that it is estimated that each machine will be used to produce 440,000 espressos over an estimated period of 10 years. So it was estimated that each will produce 440k units over 10 years. So you're just summarizing the information and breaking it down, putting it into your timeline, right? You are told that the residual value of each machine was estimated at 25,000. So the residual value is 25,000 per month, right? Okay, let's continue. It says that Joseph realized that, so this needs to occur during your reading time. You draw your timeline and then you break down the information into small pieces, right? So the next thing says Joseph realized that only 1 machine is needed and sold espresso machine 1 for 58,000 on the 1st of April 2022. So what I did was to have, so 1st of July 2018, then when was the next year end? When was the next one? When was the next one? And then I'm now in this year end because 30 June 2021, 30 June 2022, this is my year end. And when is it starting? It's starting on the 1st of July 2021 all the way to the 30th of June 2022. Let me put it into this color so that you guys can see it. So, excuse me, my year end is going to be this. So this is the period that I'm dealing with, right? Okay. It says that Joseph realized that one of the machines, only 1 machine is needed and sold espresso machine 1 on the 1st of April 2022. So you go to the 1st of April 2022 on your timeline and you put that they sold machine 1. They sold machine 1 at the price of 58,000. Right? Okay, you continue reading. It says espresso machine 2 was serviced at 5,500 on the 1st of July 2022. You go to your timeline. So the 1st of July of January 2022 is somewhere here. So I also put a dotted line because I didn't have space. So 1st of July, put a dotted line, machine serviced at 5,500. So I also noted that it needs to be capitalized. Okay, but let me explain why after reading this. It says that these machines must be routinely serviced every 3 to 4 years. So the servicing of the machines is an activity that is going to occur every 3 years, right? It's going to occur after 1 period, and it's going to regularly occur. So it's going to have to be capitalized as part of my PPE. So that's something I noted as I was analyzing. It says during the 2022 financial year, Joseph re-estimated that espresso machine 2 will be used to produce 550,000 espressos. Remember that initially when they bought the machines, they said that the machine can only produce 140,000 espressos, but now they are re-estimating and they are saying machine 2 can produce 550,000 espressos. So this is going to affect my depreciation, and I love like the application of re-estimates. So hopefully you guys stay tuned, and if you haven't subscribed as of yet, please make sure you click that subscribe button. Road to 1K subscribers, darling. Okay, let's get back to business. Focus. Okay, in total over the total estimated period of 12 years, and the new residual value is nil. So they re-estimated the number of units that the machine can produce over its useful life to 550K, and also the useful life itself to 12 years from 10 years. Okay, so that's the information that I get. So I noted down that there was a re-estimation of units to be produced to 550K over 12 years with a nil residual value, right? So let's continue to read. Analysis is very important because you'll see how easy it is to actually do the calculations after you've understood what I'm doing here. So please don't skip, because the analysis is actually where you are understanding the content, so that we're understanding the scenario, so that you are able to answer any question given, right? Okay, let's continue. It says the total number of espressos produced by each machine over the years whilst in the use by Deja Brew are. So in the financial years from the 1st of July 2018, that's when the machines were bought, all the way to the 30th of June 2021. So what I did was to draw this 1st of July 2018 all the way to the 30th of June 2021. Machine 1 produced 112 units, right? And machine 2 produced 90,000 units. And then you are told that from the 1st of July 2021, so from the 1st of July 2021 all the way to the 30th of June 2022, machine 1 produced 22,000 units, and machine 2 produced 46,000 units. So that's what they gave me. That's the information on machines, right? Okay, let's continue. So now it's talking about premises of Deja Brew. So now I'm done with machines. So I'm going to start a new timeline, right? And that timeline is going to be labeled property. Okay, it says premises of Deja Brew. You've already put everything into your timeline, so you don't need to worry about forgetting information, because you can just go to your timeline and see the summary of what happened, right? So the premises of Deja Brew, Joseph decided to purchase the property where the coffee machine is located for 2 million on the 1st of January 2019. Same thing as what I said, it was bought before the period I'm in. So I'm going to start the 1st of January 2019. You bought property at the value of 2 million, right? And it says that 10% of the purchase price can be allocated to the value of land. So 10% belongs to land, hence 90% belongs to buildings, right? It says Joseph estimated that the building will be used as the location of Deja Brew for the next 40 years. So meaning that the lifespan of the building is 40 years, and that it had a residual value of nil. So the residual value is 0. So it says on the 1st of January, so if you've put that into your timeline, and then it continues to say that on the 1st of January 2021, Joseph contracted a famous street artist to paint a flower mural on the outside wall of the building. The aim behind the mural is to attract people to, I'm not able to pronounce that term, but anyways, to Deja Brew, to take selfies in front of it, post it on social media platforms, and visit Deja Brew. The mural was completed on the 1st of July 2021 at a cost of 150,000. So on the 1st of July 2021, there was a mural completed at the cost of 150,000. Says that Joseph expects to keep the mural on the wall until the end of the building's useful life. So this thing is going to be used until the end of the building's life. It's going to be part of the building. So another thing that I also need to note here is that you will capitalize to PPE, because remember what the definition of PPE, it has a portion that says that it must be used for more than one period. So if it's going to be used For the rest of the useful life, it means that it's going to be used for more than one period, right? So capitalize to PPE, just in case they ask me a content question on that. Okay, and then you are given a photo of the mural. It seems like a painting. For those who don't know what it is, just like me, additional information says it is the policy of Deja Brew to subsequently measure all property, plant, and equipment in accordance with the cost model. I'm not sure if I noted that down, but there, oh yeah, PPE uses the cost model, right? Okay. They also tell me that buildings are depreciated using the straight line method. Okay, property depreciation is on the straight line method. They continue to tell me that commercial espresso machines are depreciated using the units of production method based on the number of espressos. Okay, then I go back to my machines and I'm like, depreciation method, units of production, right? So now you are done with your analysis. Then you go to the questions. Now it's time to write, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to write your skeletons, right? There's what we call skeletons. So this is when you are drawing the structures of what you are required. For example, if they require the statement of profit and loss, you draw the structure. If they require journals, you draw the structure. If it's a ledger account, you draw the structure. If you're not told the structure, you draw whatever structure feels best with you, whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay, so let's go to the required. It says, calculate the profit or loss that Deja Brew should account for on the disposal of espresso machine 1, right? I don't need to go to the information. I go to my timeline and then I check when was it disposed. It was sold on the 1st of April 2022 at 58,000. I already have the value of what it was sold for. So I chose to do it on a disposal account. So whenever you are doing a disposal account, you will debit bank, right? Because obviously you'll receive something and then you will credit disposal account. So here's that transaction with 58K, right? Okay, now I'm done with the first one. However, I need to also write off the machine. So what you will do is that you will credit the machine because you need to derecognize it, right? At its cost, 78,500, and then you will debit disposal with the 76,500. Okay, I'm done with that one too, because remember what the machine was bought for initially. It was bought at the cost of 76,500. Okay, cool. Then you write it here, and then the last thing that you need to do on disposal is to write off the accumulated depreciation. So accumulated depreciation increases on the credit side. So to write it off, I need to take it to the debit side. So I will debit accumulated depreciation. So I have to credit asset disposal. Okay. However, before I can give you guys the amount, we need to like do a calculation. So this is the amount that I found when I did my calculations. But let us see how I reached that amount, right? So remember, you were told that the depreciation method is the units of production. So you write your formula. Whatever I did in pencil is what I would do, Mina, if I was writing the paper when I need to start writing. So I'd go to my analysis, my timeline, and do any calculations that are being asked in pencil. So we're talking about accumulated depreciation, right? And we are told that they use the units of production as their method. So you'd have depreciable amount over number of units times number of units produced in that year, right? So we're talking about machine 1. So what is the depreciable amount? It is the cost less its residual value. What is the cost? The cost is 76,500. 76,500 less the residual value, 25,000, right? Over the number of units that you are expecting that the machine will produce over its useful life. So over 440,000 units. So over 440,000 units times the number of units that were produced, right? So remember, I was told that from the 1st of July all the way to the 30th of June, machine 1 produced 112 units. So I take 112 units plus. It wasn't sold on the 30th of June. It was sold here in the next period on the 1st of April 2022. And I'm told that the units that I used that were produced by machine 2 from the 1st of July to the 30th of June is actually what? 22,000, right? Because as much as they are giving you till 30 June, if you sold the machine, it means that these are units for the period. They should have stopped when you have sold it, right? So plus the 22,000. If you calculate that, you will find that your accumulated depreciation is 15,684. So there's a difference between your depreciation and your accumulated depreciation. Whenever you are using the straight line method as well as the units of production method, you are basically depreciating at the same rates over the years. Because think about it, for the straight line method, what is the formula? For the straight line method, the formula is going to be depreciable amount over the useful life times x over 12, depending on the years. And on the straight line method, you are you're depreciating at a constant amount, right? So same as the units of production. Hence, to calculate the accumulated depreciation, I just had to find the depreciable amount over the units that may be produced by the machine times the units that it has produced thus far, right? So that's how you would calculate your accumulated depreciation, and this is the amount you would get. Okay, now I need to write off the accumulated depreciation. So you go to your ledger account, and then, as I said, you debit accumulated depreciation and you credit asset disposal. So you would credit asset disposal with 15,684. Now you just need to close off your account. I don't know if you guys know how to close off the account, but you would add this and this. So 58,000 plus 15,684. And then you get an amount of 73,684. So you check which side is it big, which side is big. 76,000 is big. 76,500 is big. So you put 76,500 here as well as here, and then you find the difference between this and this. So you are just taking the 76,500, subtracting this, and then you get 2,816. Because it is on the credit side, you have a loss. If it was on the debit side, you have a profit. So that is just that for the first question. Do you see how important it was for me to do my analysis? Because now I'm just taking information from my time diagram. I don't need to worry about the information. I've already understood what the information was saying. Okay, the second one says, prepare the journal entries related. Okay, so that was 5 marks. Okay, the next question says, prepare the journal entries related to the 2022 financial year to correctly account for the espresso machine 2 in the financial statements of Deja Brew, right? Please note that dates and narrations are not required. So you would have done your skeleton, general journal, debit and credits, right? Okay, they are talking about machine 2. Okay, then you go to your timeline, and you look at any information about machine 2. Okay, what happened to machine 2? Okay, so machine 2 was revalued, right? Re-estimated. So you would have to calculate, remember here, re-estimation of units to be produced, right, by machine 2. So you'd have to calculate the new depreciation based on the re-estimation. So whenever there's a re-estimation, you calculate, please make sure you understand this, you calculate the carrying amount. The carrying amount becomes your depreciable amount, right? It does not necessarily become a depreciable amount. In this case, it does, because our residual value is 0. So the cost will now be your carrying amount, right, less the residual value over the useful life that is left when the re-estimation was done, times the number of units that you produced in that year, right? Okay, so now let us calculate it. So when did they make the re-estimation? During the year, right? So meaning that it could have been done here, 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 here. Yeah, it could have been done anywhere in between my period, right? So what I'm going to do is to calculate my carrying amount at beginning. And how am I going to do that? I need to take the cost less the accumulated depreciation. So the next question is, how do I calculate the accumulated depreciation? So pause this for a moment. This is how you calculate the accumulated depreciation. You will take the 76,500 less the residual value over the units that you expect the machine to produce, right? Because remember, we're still talking about the period before you actually revalued the machine, right? So it's going to be 76,500 less 25,000 to get the depreciable amount over the number of units that you expect the machine to use. divided by 440,000 units times the number of units that you produced within that year. We established that machine 2 produced 90,000 units in that year, so times 90,000. And this is the okay, this is not the accumulated depreciation you get, but you get an amount, right? But remember, you're looking for a carrying amount. So you will take the cost less the accumulated depreciation you just calculated, and you should get 65,966. So that is how you would calculate the carrying amount. Now that you have the carrying amount, it becomes your new cost less the residual value over the number of expected units that are left up until the asset has reached its full lifespan, right? So you had expected, so let's start with the depreciable amount. It's going to be the new cost, which is our carrying amount. So it's going to be 65,966 less its residual value. But I'm told that there's a nil amount of the residual value, so minus 0 over, right? Remember, I said that it's the remaining units that are going to be produced until you sell the assets, or until you sell the asset, or until it reaches its full lifespan. So initially it was 550, right? Sorry, not initially, but it was revalued to 550,000, and you have already used 90,000 times what you used in this year. This year you used 46,000, so times 46,000, and you would get that your depreciation is, I'm not sure if you can see, 6,597. I hope that is clear. So you would get your depreciation, right? So you debit depreciation 6,597, and you would credit accumulated depreciation 6,597. And then remember, there was a mural, that's what it's called, right? That's what they said. And there was a mural that was excuse me, there was a mural that was, hey Bo, am I being crazy or something? Oh, okay, I see. The mural is for the property. Now I'm confusing the two. I'm so sorry, guys. We are talking about the machine. So another thing that happens to machine 2 is that machine 1, you service machine 1 at 5,500, and I did add here that you need to capitalize the amount, right? So you would debit PPE. In this case, the PPE is machine, so you debit the machine, and you would credit bank because they told you that you paid for it. So this mural got caught up in my mind. So you would debit machine 2 with the 5,500, and you would credit bank with the 5,500. So that brings us to the end of question 1. I'm going to make a separate video for question 2, question 3, and question 4. I'm not sure how many questions they are, but yes, this brings us to the end. I hope that this helped. Let me highlight the key important things that we covered here. We covered like the treatment of a disposal. We also covered calculating depreciation when there was a revaluation, when there was a re-estimate. So those are the important concepts that we learned today. So hope you guys got the help you needed. Please make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Bye.